Okay, so what I did here is I disconnected the negative terminal, and that is unbolting that little nut right there. So since I didn't have a 10mm wrench, I tried using this, it doesn't fit, and then this actually works pretty good. So just a heads up to have a 10mm wrench, that'll probably do you a lot better for sure. I need to use the tools because I think it's kind of important so people know. So from what I've seen, you kind of have to get under the plastic here. So I popped it off, pried it from under here. You can do the same right over here. So once you do that, this comes free, and then you can put it somewhere safe where it doesn't get damaged. Perfect. And then now for this one, I've seen you just need to pull straight out if I'm correct. Okay, so I think maybe easier, try to pull these yellow ends outwards towards you, because I think pulling onto this, I mean, it's fine, but I want to just check right now to see if that's truly safe. Okay. Yeah, so you can either pull onto these yellow tabs or the actual black plastic pieces, so because there are clips onto it, so theoretically it won't come out. And then after you do pull this out, you can disconnect this. Just don't forget to do that when you're installing everything back. So back here there is a little tab you push down and then you pull it out. So yeah, like I was saying, it's clipped onto there, so in case you ever want to, you know, pull on from the actual black plastic piece, you can, or you can kind of pull from these side tabs. Now, this is where you're going to start needing some tools. So these aren't going to help. Hopefully you do have a socket wrench of some sort, or I think it's called a nut driver. Let's see if I'm able to do this. Seems like I may have a hard time. I don't really have a nut driver, so I'm gonna have to use what I have. Okay, so the next step after you removed the little clock up here, you got to remove this vent. So let's see. In order to do that, I know in the videos that I have seen, they just practically pry them out. I wasn't recording right now, but I was able to get these out without any damage. So yeah, pretty much, you know, they're in there. You can kind of pull from the top, and then if it's still kind of stuck in there, once it's loose from the top, you can pry it out from the side and easily comes out. But right now there are 4 bolts, which you'll see right away. And I was mentioning, if you have a better tool than this, please have one readily available, and make sure that it's also magnetic as well, because these are the bolts that you're gonna have to be removing. Here you go. So yeah, there's 4 bolts, one up here, here, on the side, and over here. I know you might say, well, can you show me? Yes and no. And then I'm gonna put them down here where I can easily see them. You know what? Give me a sec. Alright, so you do have to kind of tug on this a little bit, so don't be afraid to do so, just because it is clipped on there. So, depending if you have a second pair of hands, somebody can help you out. You are more than welcome to do this, just because I've seen the guy that I'm watching right now do it. And the reason for that is so that way you can protect any of your materials here from getting scratched up. Alright, so I have it unclipped. I'm just gonna record here just to have something in reference in case I forget. I won't really need any of this anymore regardless. But yeah, everything you'll just unclip, except there are a couple things that can actually stay on there. So this one requires a lot more push down than normal. Maybe it's because I have it at an angle, that's why it doesn't want to come out. These wires, remember, you're not going to disconnect every single thing, but since these wires are connected to itself, you won't exactly need to take every single thing off. In this case, I'm just going to plug this one back here where it goes. But yeah, check it out. So we'll be replacing this with this. But yeah, you are going to have to wiggle some things around. Please be careful with the wiring. Don't, once again, rush it. I might have to zoom out for this one. It should be simple plug and play. And also, since I do have the backup camera already installed that comes factory from the vehicle, I won't be installing that. So just a heads up, but it does come with one in case you want to do that. But for now, in the videos I've seen, you do not need to do any of that. Alright, so the next thing that we need to install on our new head unit. On the old one, you get these feet. The black plastic, and you will need to be removing these yellow pieces on all of them, so we'll do that momentarily. But yeah, the feet that come with the new head unit, you're gonna have to install. So I will show you that right now. So it comes in this bag right here, and if you have this generation RAV4, you do get a little shelf over here, which I'll possibly be putting all the little screws on. Otherwise, if you have a better place to put your little screws, make sure to do so. I'm just kind of wiggling everything around to make sure I don't pull out a screw and it just falls into the abyss of never finding it in this car. Alright, and then the way that these are labeled, LD, RT, and RD. So what that means is left top, left down, right top. And the way that you'll know that for sure, and using this padding that the package came with, or the head unit came with, that's what I'm using. So you're looking at it, from bottom to top. Obviously making sure that you are putting it on the actual correct side. Let's see if I can have it to where you guys can see it. And then using the screwdriver that it came with, this is what you'll be using. But so RD, so this is gonna go right down, and you need to make sure that it sits flush and straight. Hopefully you can see that. And you'll know how if you're putting it wrong or not, because if you put it another way, it's gonna be very crooked or it's not clipped on there. And I can tell there's actually little holes on here, so that way, and there's little holes that are gonna connect on here already, so that kind of helps you. I mean, you can see that, right? But if I flip it the other way, like it's not on there at all. So that's definitely going to help you really understand which one goes where. As long as you see on here, on the side, RD. So that's right there is where it's going to tell you. So that once again, that's going to be right down. And the way that you can tell too is if you're, I think I just put it wrong. Did I have it right? Oh yeah, I did have it right. So the way that you'll know, obviously, if you're looking at it like this, and then you just flip it. So you just have to imagine yourself in front of this. Not from here, left top. And then you can even tell the difference too between the ones that go on the bottom and the ones that go on the top. So this goes on the top, this goes at the bottom. Putting that one in the corresponding hole. Alright, so for me, I was just verifying fitment. But yeah, grab your little screws. Remember, have them placed somewhere where you're not going to lose them. In the car, once again, I put it on the shelf here on the side that we get. So when it's resting, make sure it's pointing straight up. It doesn't need to be pointing downwards, crooked, nothing. So just have that placed on there. I would probably recommend, if you're working in the car like me, just be somewhere where you're, in case the screw falls off, it's not gonna get lost somewhere. Right down. Actually, I just noticed something else too. So if you're still not sure where these feet go as far as left or right, here's a little trick I'm kind of noticing myself. So on here where the vents that you're gonna need to pop out, it says right, or it says R. And then the other side it says left, but if I can get a good close-up on this one, it says R. So that's how you'll know that this is the right side. So I recommend keeping those in until you put these little clips in. So little trick, like I said, for me, I just noticed that definitely going to help you making sure that, you know, you put everything in the right place. But yeah, please verify that you put 2 screws in each of these feet. If you have a magnetic little screwdriver for this one, I will tell you that's going to help you so much here for sure. I'm obviously not doing it too tight, but just enough. This one is kind of magnetic, actually. I'm just realizing. That's cool. Screwdriver, because that's definitely going to help here, no doubt. So yeah, check it out. Kind of risking losing my nut or bolt for you guys here. Oh, you see it just kind of fell. Obviously, this is not to play around, but if it's magnetic just enough to be able to kind of fish it in there. Left top. Yep, there's no doubt that you'll know which one you're putting in wrong, or how it needs to be, because for this one, yeah, so if you put it in wrong, it's going to be pointing upwards. So right there is perfect. It's pointing up straight the way it's supposed to. You know what I'm saying? It's barely magnetic, just enough to be able to fish it out in case if it falls in a small crevice you can't really reach into. Good job. All right, so once again, I'm running out of battery, so I'm going to do this quick. You just need to remove these on all 4 sides. So the way that you do that, if you have 2 different pry tools, feel free to use them. If not, say we're using theoretically this, let's try to make it happen. Okay, yeah, that works out. So pry it out from one side. So once again, from the old feet on all 4 sides, you're going to take off all the yellow little clips that it comes with. Might take a little bit of time, so just take your time with it though, for sure, if you're not really in a rush. But yeah, just be mindful to not break them. So now the next step is going to be to put all the clips on here. So the only thing you'll ever need from the old unit is these yellow clips. Simple, there's no specific way to put it, you just kind of put it on there. Make sure everything clicks into place. And then now the next step, if you want to use your tools, you can. Tools are, you know, created for a reason, to pop out the little vent things that's going to allow you to, you know, close and open the vent. So you can either use your finger. If you want, I can show you. So I just use my finger there, or once again, we have tools, so might as well utilize them. But if you don't want to bend them or break them, if you have plastic. And then the next thing is you're going to need your old vents, because you're going to get rid of this old trim and put it onto the new one. So there are supposed to be, I'm not sure why that one's like that. Hopefully I can still get it off. But right here, there's like side clips, right? These side clips. So there's 1, there's 2, should be some on the other side as well. Gonna be right here, 1, and then behind the yellow clip there's another 1. So about 4 on each side. Once again, pry that off, but since the sake of the video, I'm running out of battery, I'm gonna just fast forward to where I have those clipped off. Okay, so I have myself a little issue. I guess when they were putting the car together from factory, this clip might have broken, so instead of putting a brand new one, they decided to melt a plastic on there. So it doesn't look like that when I took it out, but that's for me trying to pry it out. As you can see over here though, it's like a regular clip, not broken. But yeah, over here I'm kind of struggling to get it off because of that. So just a heads up. Okay, so just an update because of how my RAV4 was built. This is what I'm left with. So I kind of had to break off whatever I could, because yeah, like I said, from factory, I mean, they just kind of hot glued or melted plastic so that way it can hold together. Otherwise, we still have a nice working vent, so you can get rid of that. And then now I have to fiddle with the other one. And now, yeah, see, you can see the difference. You can see the difference on the 4 clips that you're going to have to remove. It's not melted or broken like the other one. So theoretically, this should be a lot more easier. I know I did the other one kind of by hand, but all I did was loosened up like these little clips. Oh, that is easy. Okay, so the way that I do it, because I was kind of struggling. So as you pry it off, kind of hold it down on the surface to where you're kind of already pulling it off. Not forcing it, but just slightly, that way they can come clipped off. And then once you go to the other side, you do the same exact thing. So I found that extremely easy to do because of the way that I was doing it. So make sure to just kind of go at each of these little by little, and then boom, that's how the other one should have been. So it's that easy. As long as Toyota didn't mess it up from factory, then you can grab this, grab your new one, and then stick it right on there. Easy. Oh my gosh. And the reason why I'm sort of rushing, also taking my time, there's that. And then so LH, not sure what the H means, but I know L means left. So left, it's gonna go right over here, and it's gonna clip right in there. Imagine if it's not the right one. But it absolutely should be though. Oh yeah, definitely on the left side. Okay, yeah, so here, simply should click in like nothing. Should. Okay, so it clicked over here. Now I need to do the same for over here. I'm just verifying that I'm not gonna force something where it's not supposed to go as well. So the way that you'll know that you installed these correctly, so there's little brackets inside. Hopefully you can really see. So you need to slide it under into the brackets, and then it clips on here. You don't want to put it over the brackets or anything, but it needs to slide in exactly the way that it came out when you pried the old ones off. So make sure to take photos, pay attention to how it is before you put the new ones back on, or you put it onto the new head unit. So there's that. Verifying fit with you guys. Check it out. It's already on there. Works just like normal. Same for the other side. So this is definitely where it's going to take me just a little bit to refer to the video I'm watching right now and plugging all these back in. So these come in a bag, right? One bag. And once again, I know once you open up the box, once you buy this, it looks overwhelming. But once you watch the video, you see how I'm doing it. And I would tell you, I was overwhelmed. I was extremely overwhelmed. And I was like, damn, I'm going to have to do so many wiring. It's crazy, but it really is plug and play from what I've seen. So there are going to be leftover connections that you're not going to be putting into the new head unit. So they're like, just to clear that up for you guys. And then, sorry, I'm just noticing something over here. See, like even in here, there's like a leftover connection that's not even being used. I want to assume that's for the limited model on something that I don't have on here. Anyway, so yeah, there's only so many connections back here. So check it out. If you can see it, hopefully, right? Not many connections back here, but look how many connections we get here. So like I said, there's going to be leftover ones. So which, if you want to put electrical tape or whichever, up to you. But I'm going to be connecting these, and then I'll show you guys afterwards how it looks like. I got it wrong. I'm going to be needing to plug in all these, or not all of them, but matching all the little pins into the old wiring. That might seem, very extremely difficult to do, but just take your time. It's almost like a puzzle. You just really match up all the amount of pins with these. So I'd say that's probably the one thing that you need to figure out doing on your own. But yeah, this is an entire thing together, so make sure to keep this all together in one piece, and then I'll follow up with you guys once I have everything connected. The camera is going to be dying soon, so there is another connection which I just plugged in, and that's going into the back video in. So that's supposed to be for the backup camera. There is another one, except if you follow this line, this is the one that is not connected. So there are going to be extra ones that are not connected, which is completely fine. As long as you match up all the other ones, it really isn't hard, right? It seems difficult looking at all the wires. You're not an electrician like me I'm not an electrician at all. So with that said, yeah, there are going to be leftover, connections, which is fine. That's how it's going to be. But yeah, as far as the backup camera video, make sure it is connected to the one that is actually, plugged into the car. Okay, so the next set of cables that I connected is going to be the mic, which make sure that doesn't happen. But for the sake of the video, remember this set of connections, so they all are labeled. And the only ones you'll really need are the auxiliary in L and the auxiliary in R. And then right now, once I'm done with that, I will be assuming I need to connect this to the new one as well. And then I can show you guys that right now. Okay, so for the mic, make sure it is plugged in all the way. That's the reason why it fell out right now. So make sure it's plugged in all the way, and then now it's not going to fall. It's not going to be loose or anything. So yeah. The other one from the same labeled set of connections is going to be this blue looking one, which connects to the cooling fan for the head unit. So make sure everything lines up perfectly and it clicks. You hear the click and you should be good to go. Okay, so now you do have your satellite receiver, GPS receiver. This, I saw in a video that you will remove this and then place it right over here, right there, just sitting right on top of it. And then, so this connection, it just twists on to the one that's right over here. So yeah, of course, make sure it's snug, it's turned it all the way because you don't want it to come loose. Obviously not too tight, but just enough. But yeah, so this is gonna sit like right here, just like that. Obviously, once you remove that sticky paper. And then just to show you, just like that. If you already get it on there, I mean, it's pretty stuck on there, so make sure to, put it correctly. I say where I have it on, it should be no issue to put the head unit back on there. So this next one is actually optional. So using the 6-pin connector, USB. There is another one with the 4-pin connection, but once again, completely optional. So this smaller piece I put in right through here. So once you open the glove box, there's a little gap. So I put it through here, and then I fish it out, putting my hand, pulling it out, and then boom, connect it right in here. And then so using the existing USB that I had connected. So remember, this connection I put on there that came with the kit, and this is once again for the USB. So this little 4-pin, you can see the 4 little dots, that's going to connect right next to the other USB that I put on there. Once again, I'm only a 1-person camera, so I plugged in both of the USB connections and then the antenna, which is this bulky one right here, just to show you an idea where it's at. Now your other set of connections is going to be this one, which leads to the RCA connections, and then this other one right here at the very end, which leads to, I believe, the back video in that is connected. Yep. So that back video in connection goes all the way right over here. I believe this one might be one of the last cables, apart from, this one up here at the end. But regarding the head unit, this little white one, this guy right here, so that one is for the Bluetooth box, which extremely necessary. So you kind of follow this one right here, and somewhere you will find that guy. There you go. And then that one's going to go plugged in right over here. I will say it gets a little tricky trying to make sure you can kind of have everything plugged in to where it's nice and organized. But there's one last, or I don't want to say one last, but there's another connection. That one, which is the main one, is going to go plugged in right here. So one of your other steps in the video I've seen, so you can pull this trim for here, And the reason for that is because this mic we are going to be placing here, and we're going to do it a lot more better later on. But for now, you're going to follow that wire, and then you see that little tab that pulled out. So we're going to fish our little wire behind it. That way it can kind of sit flush and then come out through there, just like that. So once again, I'm holding this by one hand because I'm one person camera. But yeah. So from here, all you really need to do is kind of wiggle this out, but like pulling it towards you. And then that frees this up. And then once again, you can kind of fish it. Later on, I'm going to put a double-sided tape to make sure it stays. But the reason for the mic is that way, you know, whenever you're using kind of your Hey Siri or your Bluetooth, it's going to listen to you. Although this already has a built-in mic, which I'll show you later on. Yeah, it just works better that way. It can hear you, better audio for everything. But yeah, and then this, you just click straight back in and you're all set. So if you guys didn't notice, I made a slight mistake. I connected it upside down. Make sure to pay attention. It's not fair. I have ADD. Anyway, so this is how it's gonna sit, and you can already tell the difference. I can't wait to plug this in, have it turned on. It's hot. I'm cooking just a little bit, but it's worth it. It's gonna be worth it. So from here, before you push the entire thing inwards, make sure that all the wiring stays behind in the little slot, and you want to make sure, you know, there's nothing that's being pinched that's gonna come off or unplugged, nothing. So yeah, make sure before you put it back, everything is completely plugged in, and then we'll be connecting this back on there. So that's gonna be one of the other steps to do. So that's gonna go here along with the other trim, which is gonna be a bit tricky. So I have our flashers with the clock connected back on there. So you'll snap this back on there, and then the last one is gonna be this trim. So once again, that's gonna be a little tricky, but I can show you guys that right now. Before I push it fully, you wanna make sure that these little tabs right here are behind the trim piece. Same for over here. And make sure if you have a towel or a shirt like I'm using, remove that, and then we'll be able to fully put this on right now. Okay, because for me, I'm struggling. You know, everybody thinks differently, but it's actually pretty easy to put back. You just kind of have to wiggle this back in place, and everything is sitting flush now. So once you have it on there, make sure that you give it a nice push, and you know, everything on here, especially the trim, make sure everything is good. But yeah, look at the fitment though. Check that out. Of course, I'll get you guys a better shot once I can finalize this, but wow. All that's left now is to turn the car on, get the phone plugged in, and let's play. All right, first startup. Okay, so because of the battery that I was messing around with, something must have happened. Okay, I'm not sure if that's normally what happens when you first turn on your car from, you know, being unplugged. But yeah, I turned it back on and it's fine. I am going to be holding a tool with me in case the negative terminal comes undone. But yeah, check it out. Oh, this is going to be fun. I can't believe I finally have it. I have it. This is really the one thing I've been wanting for the longest amount of time possible. Look at that, no lag. I did it. Honestly, you can. I made the biggest mistake and had it installed upside down when I was plugging everything in. So please make sure everything is, you know, done correctly. I have ADD, so I wasn't paying attention to that, but we got it going finally. Okay, so I thought it was an app, but I guess you just need to click the actual app on the unit. You go to your Bluetooth like normal when you connect your phone to a new car, and then on here it says car BT for mine. And then it's gonna be just like normal, just like new cars. Do you want to pair it? Yes. Allow contacts and favorite syncs? Yes. So everything is in real time right now. Connect to CarPlay, literally just like a new car. I'm not gonna fast forward this or anything, just everything in real time on how it connects. There we go. Holy. All right, so say, you know, you have your phone already connected through Bluetooth and you click the home screen because you want to use any other application. If you want to go back to Apple CarPlay / Android Auto, you just scroll over here, go to settings, and you're back on Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. I'll update you guys later on if you're able to actually move that to like the first screen, or, you know, adjust everything the way it is. But once again, for now, this is just the install, and yeah, there's that. Notice too that we did not have to put the bolts back on that were held on by the original piece, because of the feet that we installed on all 4 corners. That is already gonna click into place, so it holds perfectly fine. Like, look, I'm kind of shaking it and it's not coming off, so it's on there pretty good. So once again, you have these 4 bolts perfectly fine. That's for the old unit back here.